Just a quick warning, this video does contain spoilers of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so if you don't want any spoilers, don't watch. Also, I am in no way a lore master of Legend of Zelda. These are just my thoughts after playing Tears of the Kingdom for 24 hours straight. I'm going to start off where the story begins and then branch off into different mechanics of the game, areas, platforming, and other things like that. We start our adventure in the underground of Hyrule Castle, where me and Zelda discover ancient ruins that somehow nobody knew was there before this exact moment, I guess, and learn about the Demon King. And I think it's just Ganon. I mean, he's the only character in the game franchise with a beard, so I'm gonna assume. Oh no, there's a mummy! I get my arm corrupted, the Master Sword gets chewed up, Zelda falls and disappears, and then I wake up with a new arm that I found out was from the original king of Hyrule, and he so graciously donated it to me. I get to see how the teleporter spots work, and I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. I love how I have to touch my hand, like, against the force field thing, and you'll see that throughout the game, you have to use your arm, or, I mean, your lack thereof, like, in everything. And that's kind of part of your journey to get stronger, to, you know, progress the game. So, the starting area is pretty... yeah, it's really pretty. It's very pretty. I'm kind of taken aback by a lot of this, seeing it for the first time. Even though it does look similar to Breath of the Wild, it still kind of strikes a chord with me, you know? And I'm sure there's a correct way of doing this starting area, but I find myself just picking up everything and exploring places that I have no business exploring, instead of actually trying to find where I'm supposed to go. So eventually, after a little bit, we get to our first shrine. And before I get into the abilities, I just wanted to take a moment to look at the design of the shrines. They look futuristic and ancient at the same time, which is really cool to me. And once again, we see that we use Link's arm to activate it, and it opens a portal to get inside the shrine. I'm honestly really excited to see how speedrunners are going to find a way to clip into this, because I don't know if there's going to be a way. We soon find out that we have to acquire abilities in order to open the gate for the Temple of Time. The 4 abilities that I know of are Ultra Hand, which you can use to grab and attach items together, Fuse, which you can use to fuse your weapons to almost any object, Recall, which allows you to reverse time, and my favorite, Ascend. Ascend allows you to phase through any object above you. I only say this is my favorite because it allows you to cheese some places that are otherwise uncheesable. Also, it is wild to me that Link can literally phase through solid objects. If he can phase through anything above him, you know, what's keeping him from laying on the ground and just phasing through the wall? That would be really cool. Okay, so Ultra Hand is kind of a learning curve. At first, I was having a really hard time rotating the items, and it was just confusing. But after an hour or two, I had it down. Fuse is a really fun game mechanic, and oftentimes I forget that I have it. I would attach items to like arrows or just throw them, but I would forget that I can equip them to my sword so I could just use it for longer. Although I did have fun fusing giant rocks to my swords. Recall is, well, it's self-explanatory. The only practical use that I can think of this is like hitchhiking a ride from a falling Sky Island piece, or just puzzles. It's cool though. I was in such a rush to make this video, I nearly forgot about the Zonai devices, which would have been unforgivable. The addition of these little devices makes for a lot of fun and interesting ways to solve puzzles, defeat enemies, and travel. I have to admit, it took me a while to get used to the Zonai wing. I couldn't figure out how to use it. At all. Until I so graciously put it on the launching platform that I did not know was a launching platform. You get introduced to more and more of these devices as the game progresses and find little gumball machines that dispense the items for when you need them on the go. What do you put in the gumball machines? Glad you asked. You use the Zonai charges that you acquire from the constructs. These little pocket devices have come in clutch so many times during my 24-hour playthrough. At least 5 times I had to cook an emergency spicy dish to get through the cold with my pocket pot. So we've seen a glimpse of the Sky Islands with the starting area. Now we're on to the main land of Hyrule. It's big. Like, big. I don't know if my memory of Breath of the Wild is just bad, but the map seems bigger than I remember. Which is a good thing, because it makes me want to explore everything. There are a lot of cool new creatures and places that I won't cover in this video, but I'm sure you guys will play the game and find it out. Despite wanting to explore in depth, I decided to just make a beeline for the story. You have to go to the 4 different villages or areas or whatever you want to call it, and fix whatever is affecting them from the upheaval. The upheaval being the thing that happened when Ganon's corpse reanimated. Most of the bosses are located in the Sky Islands, with exception to Goron City, which is underground. I really appreciate the way they incorporated the new areas into the main story, and in a way that added to it, rather than it just being hey, we have Sky Islands now. And I could honestly go in detail about everything that I encountered in my 24 hours of playing, but unfortunately, I wanted to make this video relatively short and quick, so there's going to be a lot of skipping around. So let's move on to one of my favorite parts of the game, the platforming. So in each of the areas that you have to defeat a boss in, there is a sort of platforming section before. The ships above Rito Village, the waterfalls above Zora's Domain, the mines under Goron City, and my apologies for not getting to Gerudo Town. I just had 24 hours, so that's all I got to. The first on the list is Rito Village. Above the village was a massive blizzard, and to get to the center of the blizzard, you have to jump on these ships in the sky and go from platform to platform. This was amazing. It was the perfect combination of platforming with the Sky Islands, and the feeling of knowing if you're going to miss a ship, you might be screwed. The rush of being able to glide in the air like a bird, it was great. Speaking of birds, I forgot to mention, you always have a companion with you on these adventures that become the sage of that village. Here we have Little Bird Guy. I forgot his name, so that's what I called him through the 24 hours. He gives us the ability to burst forward when gliding, which comes in real handy when you need to get somewhere really fast. Moving on to Goron City. Here, you go underground into an area that I haven't covered. I think it's like the Abyss or underground, whatever you call it, and you travel with Goro. That's not his name. I just said it in the 24 hours because he always said Goro after everything. So, yeah. Oh, and a little thing about Goro. He can do it. I can do it! We have to navigate this place with minecarts in order to unlock the big door. I'll be honest, I was pushing 17 or so hours when I did this, so I was getting frustrated because I was really tired. Looking back on it now, it was a lot of fun, and Red Bulls really helped. So, Goro gives you the ability to launch him like a cannonball. And it comes in handy with big rocks, but also to deal a lot of damage. Lastly, we have Zora's Domain. Here, you catch a ride on a waterfall to go up to the Sky Island. Me and Sidon have to work our way up these Sky Islands via bubbles and waterfalls, and I absolutely loved the waterfall platforming. It gave me the sensation that the ships did in Rito Village. The bubbles, though, I could have lived without. They were just so slow. I'm a fast-paced gamer, so having to sit there and wait for the bubbles to get up and down, it was a lot. So Sidon gives you the ability to coat yourself in water to prevent damage, or you can attack with a burst of water, which is great if you want to mop the floors. So, after beating all the bosses, the ancient sages bestow their secret stone upon the new sages. The new sages then lend you their power. Also, in the cutscene, they all use the same flashback in each one, telling the story of the Imprisonment War, and it's not a bad thing. I just thought I would mention it, because I thought it was a little weird. I'm not going to go over the boss fights in this video, but I'm sure there's plenty of content out there if you want to go check it out. I just want you guys to experience it for yourself, because it was tons of fun. And being able to experience it in the game is far better than watching this. I just wanted to make a little quick video on my thoughts about it. So, to wrap up, I just want to say that I, like a lot of other people, have been waiting years for the game, and to finally be able to play it is kind of a dream come true. I can't wait to binge play this game for the next few weeks, or months. If you want to come hang out, I'll be on Twitch every weekday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the link's in the description. Also, I put a lot of work into this video, so if you like the content, consider dropping a like or even subscribing. Thanks. This does water stuff, but I don't want to use it. You know what? Use it. Good.